All right, every Monday we do a deep dive into what your elected officials are up to. In our first half hour, we looked at Iowa, and now we are turning to Illinois, where lawmakers have until the end of the month to finalize this year's budget. And we'll get to that in just a moment. But first, we are joined by Peter Hancock, State House reporter at the nonprofit newsroom, Capital News, Illinois. All right, Peter, as always, thank you for being here. I want to start with a bill that has already passed the Senate, is now going over to the House, and it has to do with sexual assaults in schools. What's happening?
Yeah, this bill has been in the works for a couple of years now, actually, and it raises to mind a lot of very troubling issues. Initially, the impetus of this bill was an incident at a school in Taylorville, which is a small town in southern Illinois or central Illinois near Springfield, where a 10-year-old girl was sexually assaulted by a 14-year-old boy, at first on a bus and then later outside the bus. And the parents ended up suing the bus company and the school district because they felt that there wasn't enough discipline against the boy, and that their daughter had to continue going to school with her attacker. What the bill would do essentially would mandate a 1-year suspension or 1-year expulsion from school for any student who is found to have committed rape, and a 6-month expulsion for other kinds of non-consensual sexual activity. Turns out that there have been multiple incidents around the state where female students have been sexually assaulted by male students, and nothing happens to the male student, and they have to continue going to school and continue facing their attacker in a very high stress environment. So there is some opposition to this bill. Some people are concerned about whether or not due process is going to be followed, and some people are concerned about other situations you might think of, like Romeo and Juliet situations, where you have two teenagers, maybe one or both of them are just under the age of consent, where one of them could be criminally prosecuted for what is essentially a teenage romantic relationship. But nonetheless, this did pass through the Senate and is now headed to the House, and we'll see whether or not it picks up any steam over there.
Yeah, it's certainly one we'll be watching as it moves forward. But I want to stick with the education topic. State education officials say they need a new way to count low-income students. What's the current system, and what are some of these concerns about it when it comes to education-based funding?
Okay, well, currently Illinois counts low-income students if looking at public records to determine whether or not the student is eligible for SNAP benefits or Medicaid or other kinds of public assistance. The concern is that with the big, beautiful bill that passed through Congress last year, that a lot of people are going to be falling off of the SNAP rolls and the Medicaid rolls. We've already been seeing some declines in those enrollments anyway, which is kind of a troubling trend in and of itself. But they're worried that this method of counting low-income students is not really capturing all of the students. And it's important in Illinois because the number of low-income students in a building or a district also factors into how much money the district gets. It's called evidence-based funding, and it's based on the idea that certain students who live in poverty, students who are English language learners, are more expensive to educate than other students. And so some districts are concerned that they could be losing out on funding if these people are falling off the rolls, or if our current method of counting low-income students just isn't capturing everybody.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the budget, because this year's legislative budget is supposed to be approved by May 31st. It's coming up in about 3 weeks. We are seeing some slight differences in revenue projections compared to what lawmakers originally budgeted for. Why might that be, and what does this all mean for the next few weeks?
Well, so far in the current fiscal year, revenue is coming in a little ahead of schedule. We're up about somewhere around 2%, maybe between 1.5% and 2% above what we were expected to get for this current fiscal year. Now, the new fiscal year starts on July 1st, and that's the budget year that everybody's working for right now. The budget bill will be for that year. And for the upcoming year, I mean, it's nice that right now we've got a little bit of wiggle room and agencies don't have to worry about making a lot of last minute cuts to get through the end of the fiscal year. But still looking ahead to the next year, everybody is still being fairly cautious. They've got about 3 weeks to go. And right now, lawmakers are kind of divided. There is a group of progressive lawmakers that says Illinois doesn't have a spending problem, it has a revenue problem. We need to go out and find more revenue to pay for the things that we've already committed to or things that we want, including education. And they have a number of revenue proposals on the table. Others, Republicans, as well as more moderate Democrats, are being a little more cautious. There are some proposals on the table, some creative revenue ideas like imposing tax on digital advertising. Some people have proposed a tax on social media companies, those kinds of things. Right now, it's not looking like any new tax proposals are gaining a lot of momentum. It is an election year, and it's very hard to vote for tax increases in an election year, no matter who the tax increases are on. So we're really looking at kind of a stable budget for the year ahead that starts on July 1st. Probably not a whole lot of new revenue and not a whole lot of new spending.
It's going to be a sprint these last 3 weeks. Peter, we thank you so much, as always, for your time and your expertise. And for you guys at home.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have our political coverage for both states up on our website. You can find the latest underneath the As Seen on TV tab at the top of the homepage.